All right, guys and girls, you know what that is right there? That's a mushroom head jig. It's also called a Ned Rig. Ned Rig was named after an outdoor writer named Ned, and some guys figured out this technique. Again, this is simply a jig and worm. It's a technique we used. Actually, I used to finish second place in a BASS tournament on Lake Ouachita back in the early 70s. I mean, way back before we called them a Ned Rig. We simply called them a small jig and worm. They come in a lot of different sizes. This is a fairly heavy one. That's a 1/4 ounce, and maybe a 3/8 ounce. Not quite that big. 3/16 maybe. I think that's maybe a 3/16. This is a mushroom head jig. They call them shroom jigs. If you buy them at Bass Pro Shops, that's their company brand. They call them shroom jig. They also handle the ones that are Ned Rigs. And all you do with this simply is put a small piece of plastic on it. Now here's the beautiful part about a Ned Rig. I got it laying right here, and actually I took this off just to show you. This is the end of a Lucky Sink sinking worm. This is a sinking worm. That is the very end of it. So this is a worm that I've caught fish off of, rigging it as a sinking bait, a sinking worm, and I just simply cut the tail off of it to put it on a mushroom head jig. And when you do that, and let me tell you what you got here. This is what you got. This is what you're looking at. And that's it right there. That is a Ned Rig. That is a Ned Rig. Now the beautiful part about a Ned Rig is you can take all the plastic worms that you use and you tear up the head of them and just clip the end of them off about 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, whatever. Clip the end of them off and use those on your Ned Rigs. And you've got free bait. Basically, you got free bait. As an example, I've got laying right here, that's a sneaky snake worm. If I wanted to use it on a Ned Rig, all I got to do, I could take my cutters, scissors, or I could just pinch it off. Better if you use a pair of scissors. Now I'm just going to pinch that off. Now you say, Jimmy, you ruined a good worm. Well, actually, I've got a Ned Rig worm right there that's a good one to use. All I do is come up here on this. I'm going to turn around where my tail is pointing downward. Come right up through that right there a little bit. Now again, I probably would put a drop of super glue on there, Gorilla super glue. Bring this up. And now I have a little Ned Rig that's got a totally curly tail. And that's a dynamite little bait to catch fish on. These little shroom jigs will catch them when they almost can't be caught. These little shroom jigs will sometimes catch you 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 bass a day when the fishing gets really difficult. Use them on a spinning rod, use them on a casting rod, whatever you want, light line, little bitty tiny things like this to catch a lot of fish.